We think that there was some targeting going on. We have evidence provided to us, expert evidence, that shows that the homes were targeted, and they used the firearms registry. And the firearms registry was destroyed.
That was Dennis Young back in September, and we'll join Dennis in just a moment to talk about the new information in High River. Of course, that's the subject of Lauren Gunter's column, found throughout Sun Media properties today. Sad episode in RCMP history. Now, for those of you that don't care about the gun issue, look at that. That was a picture of a door. Remember, this is about doors being battered in, about police going outside of the law. What do the documents obtained by the National Firearms Association show? Well, they show that the military was ready to pull out and that the RCMP was in agreement that there was not much left to do. Let's take a look at some of these documents. This one from a June 24th memo. This is day 5 of the flood. The military report says Sector Central, High River, carried out mobility support to local officials and route recce tasks in flooded areas. Next 24 expect tasks to dwindle as the city reestablishes itself. From that same report, the military says no further danger to civilians, life and limb, and evacuations not required. And then there is this. The military saying the town is starting a re-entry plan and developing criteria to allow re-entry to proceed. They're mapping the town in 4 classifications: buildings not damaged, buildings with some damage but safe for habitation, buildings with significant damage that prevents habitation that can be remediated, and buildings which will likely have to be demolished. Remember, we showed you yesterday that the RCMP also said on June 24th that, well, things were getting better for the town. Dennis Young joins us now. He is Alberta Director with the National Firearms Association. Dennis, these documents must leave you fuming as you ponder the meaning behind them all. They do confirm much of what you and others have been saying from the beginning.
Yes, the more documents we get from the government, it just shows that what we knew in September and what we suspected in last June is obviously true.
The RCMP documents, we just showed a number of military ones. Maybe we can bring up the RCMP documents now, because you got 2 stacks of emails, memos, and so forth. And this is an RCMP memo. I believe this one also from June 24th. As of 1600 hours today, RCMP search teams led by STO have completed the physical search of all homes in High River, with the exception of a small amount in Quadrant 8. This is the one where they said there's been 674 searches. And yet, just shortly after that, they start saying, we're having trouble at the barricades. That shows you that something happened. They said everything was fine, and then there's trouble at the barricades. We have to do something. What do you think happened there?
Oh, we have no idea, but if you look at some of the documents that we've obtained, they say that there was a threat made at the barricade, that the one person said they were going to storm the barricades. And I think one of the possible reasons was that they overreacted to that threat. Everybody, with the exception of a few hundred people, were already evacuated from the town. The barricades were up. People couldn't get through the barricades. There were spike belts. I think somebody just went over the top, and the fact that almost double the number of homes doors were kicked in after June 24th shows you that somebody really miscalculated, and somebody ordered something that should never have happened. Yeah. And somebody has to be held to account.
Well, we've got the timeline here. June 20th is when the flooding forced the evacuations. According to the documents we've got now, June 20th, flooding forces evacuations. June 24th, the military says no further danger. June 24th, the Mounties say they'd done forced entries in 674 homes, 303 people located. And somewhere in the 24th, 25th area, the local RCMP were replaced by outsiders. And that's important because it's from that day on that there's an extra 1,200 plus homes that have their doors kicked in. Some of this is about guns. Some of it is about people having their property look through, their doors kicked in for no good reason.
Yeah, the Staff Sergeant Ian Shardlow at the September 5th Town Hall said that none of the local detachment RCMP officers had been involved in kicking in doors, which in light of these documents that we've got today, that doesn't seem clear either. But at the same time, the Special Tactical Operations Squad were brought in, and these are anti-terrorism type squads that were brought in to do the searches from the 24th to the 27th or 28th. We don't know what the end date was. But obviously they thought there was some kind of threat there, and it's
So they decided to
scary.
go through people's homes. I'm looking at another document you've released. It's a report from Don and Jane White, High River residents, who say the front door with glass and side glass had been battered in, as well as being bent with a pry bar. The frame was split. The deadbolt torn completely. Many sets of muddy foot and glove prints throughout the home, including on mattresses, jewelry boxes, every closet, and mud on the fridge door. That's not going through and looking for survivors. That's looking for something else. They had a lot of firearms seized. I want to ask you this. There's the MP in High River area has resigned, the MP from McLeod. There is a nomination race going on, and you've got some people saying the RCMP did nothing wrong, no reason for a public inquiry. That was John Barlow. Do you think this adds to the calls and the evidence that says there must be a public inquiry, Dennis? Oh,
absolutely. There's no way that the RCMP Public Complaints Commission can interview the 330 military personnel that were on the ground in High River during these raids. These are witnesses to these crimes. These were crimes. This was not, they were not saving people at this point. After the 24th, this was all about guns. And Don and James White's house that was broken into was clearly a raid for firearms. It took 51 minutes from the time they went from the detachment, took the boat to Don and Jane's house, kicked in their door, searched their house, took 11 long guns out of the house, threw them into a boat, and had them stored back in the detachment. 51 minutes. This was, they weren't searching for survivors.
That's not going door to door.
No, they didn't go door to door. They went straight to Don and James White's house and took their guns. It was all about guns.
Okay. We will continue to push, and you will continue to search and investigate. Thanks so much for sharing the information with us, Dennis.
Thank you for doing the story.